in about probably 4 hours of work, I'd probably end up losing, I don't know, 5 liters of water from my body. That's how much impossible conditions were. And they were smoking. They were doing things, anything, just to, things that were completely against even workplace procedures. I ended up taking the job as a truck driver. 2 jobs like that. For one job, I ended up paying employer because they did not even reimburse me for fuel. The other one, it lasted 2 weeks, of course. Nobody will do it for free. The other job, I had to sleep on the floor. Because not even the truck that should be for 2 people, as I was assigned to another person to work with, just for the beginning. They did not even assign truck with 2 bunks, but with 1 bunk. So I was the one who ended up sleeping on the floor after everything I went through in my life. And finally, assassinations have taken place. One assassination in 2008, what was in Slovenia. But numerous, because of the smoking in the room, because of everything that was taking place. That's how severe the torture was in Germany. There was no place. There was nothing for me to rent over there, regardless of my search, regardless of whatever. So I have had it to what was Belgium in Brussels. And in Brussels, story from Canada repeated again. The first day when I came, these people would not even open the door of what was at those towers in Brussels, where you file for this procedure. They would not even open the door for me. They would not even let me in. I had to sleep first before I even go with it. I was told by what were these people at FED at Belgium Federal Agency for Immigration for Immigrants, by some, I don't know, was it Greek? I don't know who was it, but he was the one that have assisted me and was called by the lady, the receptionist, to basically go and find place as some kind of a shelter, something in what is, I think was south part of the Brussels. I have everything documented. And folks, it was where 3 blacks almost end up killing me, stabbing me with the knives. It was a setup. It was where I have found place filled with people waiting and fighting on the street as I came with my luggage. And upon my turning around and going back to that station, where I have afterwards sleep entire night. Disgusting, didn't even get sleep. I went days without sleep. But yeah, thanks God I have managed to break away from the gang. Because what they want to take from me everything I had in my wallet and my life maybe. If I stopped, I'd probably be dead. So I went back to what was Austria in 2009 and was there until beginning of 2010. I have applied for over what was, I don't know how many jobs, over 400 jobs at least. And what have taken place is, upon my declining to complete what was pre-employment psychological evaluation, I was summoned to police station. I was summoned to police station because I have declined to complete one. And I have declined to complete one because hundreds of them, close to 1,000 of these psychological evaluations have taken place in the United States of America, where I was forced to complete those psychological evaluations. I was forced to complete. I was tormented. I was physically tortured. I mean psychologically tortured to complete them. Intention was to break me, to destroy me, to brainwash me. Upon each and every successful completion of those questionnaires, I never was afterwards granted a job. It was abuse. Abuse like you have no clue, you don't dream about what kind of abuse that was. In 2009, no, sorry, 2010, I have applied for asylum. Yeah, just 6 months ago I have applied for asylum in Oslo, Norway. When applying for asylum in Oslo, Norway, I was basically thrown out of the reception facility in Oslo, Norway. I was thrown out of the reception center because I was discriminated by Turkish police officers, by Turks wearing the Norwegian police officer uniforms. I was discriminated against, I was humiliated against, and finally I was thrown out of the police station for nothing. Only for asking that hearing would be conducted by Norwegian police officer, white Norwegian police officer. This was enough for them to throw me out. And no media, no attorney would assist me during what was 14 days running back and forth on foot through the town, when hundreds of medias, journalists, and lawyers were contacted in person or via email. Nobody would assist me because they're all corrupted. It's when the system have created such a huge crime. None of these people ever want to get involved in it. They are all afraid of what are liabilities. This is what Norway is. If you like that Nobel Prize. The very, very noble thing. And in meanwhile what have taken, in the place where I was staying, because I was staying at the hostel, the United States of America have sent everything or everybody, whoever was previously in Miami, in the store, threatening me. All those humanitarians, people who have visited my store in Miami and threatened me with death, with lobotomy, with all kinds of procedures, they were instructed to visit me again. And they were actually stationed inside of the hostel with me, with shared dorms. That's what happened. That's what took place. That was the situation. All over the city, I was followed everywhere. I had people going behind me and waving hands. Stalk. It's called cause stalking. It's called group or cause stalking. And about 7 million people complains about one every year. So you're not going to think it's something. No, it's not. It's very, very common. And it's actually more common in Scandinavia than it is anywhere else in the world. In Scandinavia, this is a booming business. After 14 days, I have moved to what was Bergen, Norway, where I have searched for the jobs. I have applied close to over what was 700 jobs. 700 jobs. Yeah, it was more. It was more than that. But I think it was 700 jobs more. It was in person or online. Whenever I'm applying in person, the only thing I was told is good luck and go back, go home, apply online. People were looking at me weird. Some of them even said that they haven't seen people applying in person for years. And at the hostel or private settings, since I wasn't allowed, in other words, to get my own place, yes, you don't get the job, you don't have the place. It's very simple. What have happened? This international mob, these criminals, they were ending up at the same room where I was. Nights were restless. There were basically no sleep. It was a torture. They were even imitating my pain or my back problems, which I have, and which I was mentioned to you earlier about. I have met more than 50 people, of which they have claimed to be either physiotherapists or doctors. The stories which they would be coming with would be nothing else but really threats, and these people would interact with you. Sorry, settings, when you are stationed in what is 8-dorm room, you have to share the room with 7 other people. And in hostel, there is no such place where you can sit and be in peace and study.